Here we are again. We are back here in Telluride. We landed here with our Dornier DO228 yesterday. Now we are going to take this Saab 340 on over to Provo, switch aircrafts to an F-50, a Fokker 50, and then that's on to Reno so that we can get back into some commercial style aircraft. Here's the chart where we're departing. If you look at departures, there's no departure information, so we're okay. So basically, this is our chart. So we're gonna get out of here. So let's go back to our map so that we can see where we're at. Very easy taxi via Alpha to runway 27 for departure, and as we can see, once we get up in the air, we still are going to turn a little bit northwest here, as you can see, so that we can get on course. The good thing is this is non-towered, so as long as we stay VFR and get on course, that'll be fine. So we'll take off and then we'll do a right turn. Let's calculate what right turn that we should do. So if we're heading 27, that's west. Let's just do west. This is 360, so we'll assume this is 280 or 290. So we'll put in a heading of maybe like 305, 310 so that we can intercept this right here. So let's go ahead and set that up now, folks. Checklist. So that you guys can see what I'm reading, and then I'll take it back out. So here's what we're going to cover. Batteries, external power, bleed valves, avionics, oxygen, circuit breakers, flight recorder, parking brake, cabin signs, instruments, and ignition, fuel quantity, hydraulics, cabin pressure, power condition levers, ground idle, fuel off, trims, and takeoff data bugs. Now you guys know that we just did this one right here, so we're straight. We did the takeoff data bugs already. So I'm going to get this out of here where you can't see it so we can do it, and we'll go over it. Okay, batteries being checked. Well, there's power on the aircraft, as you can see here. We do have both batteries on. This is green, which is our bus tie. These are our avionics, which we will turn the right and left off once we start. The bleed valves reset to auto. We are going to turn the right ignition on, of course, and we're going to hold this to the right. All right, time for some fuel. Right about there, folks. Now you can see everything is coming up. Get us a better view. You have to be very patient with these engines because you don't want any type of hot starts. You don't want to act like the engine's on. As you can see, it's still going up, so you got to give it a second there. All right, continuing to stabilize. We got good torque. We got good RPM on the engine. It's right basically at the bottom level of the green, the acceptable level. So now let's go ahead and jump back up top and do the same thing for the other engine. We're going to go ignition on, and of course we can. All right, here we go for this wonderful little taxi. All right, taxi light is on. Let's get her going here. Parking brake is off. Once we get to the runway, we will most certainly Takeoff power is set. Speed is alive. I'm up here on 80 knots. Ooh, this runway is super bumpy. And we're coming up. Alright. Up we go. Positive rate. Gear is up. Gonna hand fly the aircraft here for a second. Flaps are coming up as well.
Pull up. Pull up.
Just got some terrain there.
Terrain.
We'll just get out of this terrain here for a second. Just hand fly the aircraft. Before we get on our heading. Alright. Need to climb at least up to 12,500. Trim the airplane just a little bit. We'll trim the nose up for now. Alright. Alright, we'll keep the aircraft steady there for a second. Let's go ahead and engage the autopilot. Let's get our flight director on, of course. And autopilot gets engaged down here. So let's get our yaw damper. Autopilot engaged. Now let's go ahead and go heading mode. And we'll go IAS mode as well. For a nice climb. Now that you can see, we have most certainly cleared the mountains. I'm going to tell you guys, this was a very, very troubled flight. I was online flying, as you see, towards the beginning, which I am just simply going to edit, obviously do the beginning because we weren't air traffic control. But the simulator crashed twice because of my weather plugin, my Active Sky Network. Active Sky Next, I should say, for X-Plane. There was some issues with it. So I most certainly had to disable the depicting global settings. And so far, so good. So we'll see if we make it to Provo. Just fine. So we'll assume that we're still flying with ATC, of course. However, I'm just letting you know that there were some significant issues with that. So there you go. Let's go ahead and turn our prop sync on. See, they're down here. Oh no, it's over here. Alright, prop sync. Where are you? I know it's on this pedestal somewhere. I think we have to go to the first officer side potentially to see it. Alright, we're going up into some clouds. Climbing up to 16,000, and here it is right here. Turning the prop sync on now. We can go ahead and turn the auto coursing off. Here it is here. Landing lights off. Logo back on there. Alright. I'm back in the cabin here. Kind of noisy back here. Alright, about 1,000 to go. Let's check our GPS here. As you can see, as promised, I'm pretty much staying on course here. So what we're going to do now, from this location, we're going to go direct. And then we're gonna come over here and put it in nav mode. So now we're direct ECNAF, whatever that stands for. Landing lights are off. we are at our 16,000 feet mark. And we'll continue to cruise on this very, very troubled flight. Not necessarily troubled from the actual flying, but more troubled from the simulation world, giving me a hard time. This field is actually set up for 13, runway 13 at all times, pretty much, as far as any precision route in. However, if you look at the field here, what we're going to do is we're going to come in, more than likely, we are going to come right in here past Provo. I'll go ahead and at least maintain an altitude of, let's say, like 9,000. We'll come around here, we'll circle back down, be downwind, and then right here we'll be able to come back around. Now, one of the things that is stated in the information, I don't know if it's on this one. Let me see. Let's go check airport info, preview procedures, NOTAMs, notice to all. There's procedures. So we're going to be doing visual, basically 3-1. We're not going to type it in now, but as you can see, if it were to give us the visual and we're coming straight in, we might be able to hit it straight in. It's letting us know we need to be at 5,500. And if we come over here and look at Mont is supposed to be at 11,500 feet. See that? So once we get about 10 nautical miles, we'll drop down to 11,500 feet. Let's look at the chart for the airport. Airport chart, as you can see, let's look at the touchdown elevation is 4493. We need to come over to the first officer side. Okay, so this is Utah Lake. It's not the Salt Lake City Lake, but this is the Utah Lake. So let's go ahead and fix our heading up, folks. We're going to probably take it manual in for the rest of the way here, which I normally don't do, but because this is such a crazy approach, we're going to do that. Okay, so let's come down here now. Alright, so I'm going to put this in heading mode. Let's square the heading up. And we're going to go heading mode, of course. Now that we're heading mode, we can come over here. And we are going to go to the flight plan. And we're going to activate the approach. And there it is. So that little bitty tip right here on the approach is basically what we're going to get. So now we need to go ahead and start descending. Alright, folks, it's going to get dangerous here. We're going autopilot off. We'll leave the yaw damper on there for a second. Alright. We're going to take this bad boy in straight to these mountains, folks. Uh-oh. This can't be good. There we go. Let's get below that cloud layer there. Alright, and I can actually see the runway. Alright, folks. Let's see the runway off in the distance. Let's come up top and get our landing lights on. Get our taxi on. It's kind of a fun approach, guys. Coming straight through this little mountain system here. Now my speed is kind of high, so we may have to circle. We're not allowed to circle east. Of the runway. But yet we might have to circle. Coming into the beautiful scenery of Lake Utah. This lake is south of Salt Lake City and the Big Salt Lake. So we're about 4,000 or 3,500 above. We're not doing too bad. We might even be able to get it straight in. Passing that mountain system over there. So if you see this runway here, this first field, that's not the field we're going to. We're actually coming over here. So the aircraft steady. Steady on this descent. Keep it about right here. Alright, and you can see we're pretty much right on the line. Now, if you guys are curious, where is the runway? It's right here, folks. This is the other airport. That's our runway right there. That's why I say we can bounce in over here. Pretty much just do a straight in descent. Okay. We're going first stage of flaps. Picking up on the power. I need to get over to the first officer side and get that auto feather off. Or prop sync, I should say. This would be better if my track IR was working correctly. Alright, we're about 2,000 above. We're going to go for landing gear out. Landing gear's down, 3 green. Check. Alright. VREF is about 118. So our approach speed will be in the 120s, of course, about 125. We're at flaps 15 now. Alright. Plane wants to go up. Another stage of flaps there. Looking good. We're about 1,000 above. It's a very small field here. All right.
Sink rate, sink rate, sink rate, sink rate.
We're fine. We're getting back on the glide slope. As you can see, our little teal markers coming up. And we got 2 white and 2 red. So sink rate was what we needed, sir. Thank you very much. Alright, Provo, here we come. Everything is looking good. Stable approach. Right on the glide slope. Coming in nice and low. Alright, it's where we need to make our money, right here. There we go. Nice little touchdown. Alright, we're just going to coast down. The runway. Alright, start doing some braking here so we can make this next taxiway. Alright, folks. Welcome into the Provo area. Alright. Let's just ease up slightly. Landing lights are off. Strobes are off. And let's taxi into the terminal via Alpha. Alright, so that was definitely an interesting visual approach. Might I add? Okay, we're gonna cross runway 18 here. Let's Go strobes back on, landing back on till we cross. For safety purposes. Just get a little slowdown here. Alright. Landing lights off. Let's get that strobe off. Slow ourselves down on the way in. Our next leg, our plane will be pulled out. Our Fokker. You can see there's an ATR over there. Sitting right there. That's the ATR 72. Alright. Looks like he's got the primary spot, but I see another one here. We can use. Might I add, I do not like the braking in X-Plane. It's too drastic.